So I finally finished Jujutsu Kaisen. I am completely caught up. If you guys don't know, I reacted to every episode on this channel. I reacted to season 1, season 2, and Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and I really loved every second of it. And this video is basically me just talking about my experience and what I love about it, pretty much, because I really did enjoy watching this series. So let's start with season 1. Season 1 was a bit of a misdirection in a little bit as opposed to what comes later on. In terms of it sort of set up the world of Jujutsu Kaisen to be this. It had dark elements, but it was very funny. You know, there was a lot of light-hearted moments. You really got to love these characters in these really funny sequences, especially characters like Yuji with Gojo. It was all very juvenile and very funny, and there were serious moments, but it just felt a bit more light-hearted, you know. But season 1 had some dark moments in it too, of course, when Sukuna was first brought back. But even then, it was a bit less dark than it got in season 2, I will say. But there was also, of course, the stuff with Junpei that was very dark, with his mother dying. There were hints of darkness. Mahito is a prime example of it. What he does to humans, that was very dark, I'm not gonna lie. But it sort of brought you into this false sense of like, this world, although it's terrifying and there are these curses and stuff, it's not super dark. It's not, you know, you're not going to see loads of blood or death or anything like that. Like, that's how it felt. It reminded me a tiny bit of Hunter x Hunter in the way that it changes its tone so much as it goes on. But season 1 I really enjoyed, but I thought it was very funny. It had some great fights in it. Yuji and Todo versus Hanami was a particular highlight for me, and of course Mahito versus Yuji and Nanami was great as well. But it did a good job of sort of establishing the characters and the world and what Jujutsu Kaisen was and the curses and all that sort of stuff. And then Jujutsu Kaisen 0 happened, which is a prequel, and that completely blew my mind because that started off so much darker than anything we'd seen before. It started off with literally a little girl dying, who was in love with this guy called Yuta, and they were both kids, and she died, and she became this curse that essentially haunted Yuta. Of course, later on we learned that isn't really the case, but that story is really dark, and that had a lot of really scary and creepy themes in it, especially when it came to Rika. And then we got a lot more lore to do with Geto, and we realized that this story goes a lot deeper than we thought. You know, there's a whole lot to this world that we don't know. And then Geto, we got some motivation from him. But what I'm trying to say is Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was almost like a turning point. It was a bit of a tonal shift, I feel like, that movie. It went from season 1, which had a lot of funny bits with some dark elements, to just dark. Do you know what I mean? But Jujutsu Kaisen 0 I loved. I thought it was an amazing film and a really great prequel, and it gave a lot of context to the series. Season 2 completely blows everything else out of the water. Season 2 is not even close. I can't begin to describe how much I love this season. And I'd heard things going into when I first started watching Jujutsu Kaisen that season 1's okay and good, but season 2 is different level. And yeah, it can't be any more true. The Shibuya incident was literally, I couldn't have predicted how good that was going to be. I mean, from the fights to the drama to the characters to the developments that go on, to the surprises, like Sukuna versus Jogo was amazing. What happened with Gojo getting captured, it was just so unexpected. And of course, Mahito versus Yuji and Todo, Nanami's unexpected death. It was so much darker in this season, and the themes and the characters were going through. I talked about this in one of my reactions, but it felt like in this season it went from, again, season 1 where it was quite funny and things were played for laughs, and then in season 2, just whatever happened in season 1, it just took so much more of a sinister side in season 2. Do you know what I mean? And the fights were absolutely incredible. Season 1 had some great fights, but again, doesn't compare to season 2. The whole stuff with, I forgot to even mention Jujutsu Kaisen. Sorry, this is a ranty video. I'm literally just talking about the series. So it's going to be all over the place. But I forgot to mention even Todo in Jujutsu Kaisen. The beginning, you know, the first few episodes before the Shibuya incident, the hidden inventory, learning about Todo and how strong he is and what he did to Gojo and Geto, and learning about that backstory, and then Todo coming back for an episode, a resurrected version of him, was such a hype moment. There's so many hype moments in this, and again, like genuine, insane, shocking moments, like with what happened to Nobara. You know what Mahito did to her. I still don't know if she's dead or not. And then, of course, like I said, with Nanami, what happened to him? Season 2 was just so much more serious, but like in the best way possible. But the whole series was great. I really enjoyed season 1, but for very different reasons. Season 2 was some of the best anime I've ever seen. Like, that arc was incredible, including Hidden Inventory. That was great. And the ending, the way it sets up for the next season, bro, with what Geto did, I cannot wait for season 3. I think it's coming out sometime next year, and I 100% will be making reaction videos to that, 100%. But Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, 0, and season 2, it's got me hooked. I love this series. I'm so glad I watched it. And if you are interested, like I said, I have reacted to every single individual episode, including the movies, for more specific thoughts if you are interested. But yeah, overall, Jujutsu Kaisen, couldn't recommend it enough, man. Fucking brilliant, even though I just spoiled a lot of it. But yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it already. But very, very excited. And what do I think is going to happen in the next season? I don't know. Like I said, there's been a whole lot more Jujutsu Sorcerers awakened, a whole lot more curses. Yuta's going to hunt Yuji, like try to assassinate him, which is going to be crazy. God knows what's going to happen with Geto now. And Gojo being captured, it's going to be a free-for-all. I think it's going to be insane. It might be even crazier than the Shibuya incident, but I don't know how. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, 10 out of 10. Fucking loved it, man.